Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem.
Please. 1, 2, 3.
I will exalt thee, realm of the free. Great is the love thee hath for thee. Family united, ever we stand, singing the praise of native land. We raise up our hearts and our voices on high. The hills and the valleys will echo our cry. Blessing and peace be ever known. Land that we love, our Sierra Leone.
Ladies and gentlemen, as you know, when he assumed office as President of the Republic, the President had the decision to nominate several people to represent him and therefore our country in various missions abroad. This region, France, and the EU is being represented. The President is being represented here by His Excellency Ambassador Samuel Tamba Musa. It is therefore my pleasure to ask Ambassador Musa to welcome His Excellency and his entourage.
Your Excellency, our First Lady, Mrs. Fatima Bio, Chief Minister, Minister of Foreign Affairs, Minister of Culture, members of the High Table, I welcome you all. We actually feel honored that the President is here with us today, and this is a great opportunity for us because very often, quite often, you watch your emails, you watch your social media outlets. Today, we are fortunate that the President is here to speak to us. So you will hear him live. The diaspora is an external source of human capital for us. And as you know, the President has prioritized human capital development. And in that, we have free quality education. So the diaspora is really very, very important for us. This is why we are injecting new thinking, new approaches, new ways of organizing to deliver together with you all to deliver our expected results. For example, we know that you send remittances. What we are doing now is looking at the collective element of that will impact on the development of the country in a sustainable way. So we are keen to bring you all with us, along with us, to be able to effect that change. We know that when you go around Europe, they are now emphasizing the development of startup projects, investing in startups. This is all over Europe. And we know that you can contribute to that, you can engage with that, and want to see how we can harness the opportunities delivered by your remittances to invest in businesses. We are also looking at the diaspora in general, but specifically the second and third generation diaspora. We know that the first generation is here. They are doing well. But I think the second and third diaspora, they have got opportunities, special opportunities that we can harness. I'm very happy to see some of them here today. We also believe that investing is not something that will happen overnight. So we are taking along with us to meetings, seminars, business forum, to let the diaspora know what is going on. We take them, we invite them, and we've been getting good responses. Because when they invite us and we say we are coming with members of our diaspora to be part of the meeting, they are really eager, they want to know, and they want to engage. So we have prospects in terms of you utilizing the opportunities that exist. So those are some of the new things, the creative ways we are beginning to engage the diaspora. I would like also at this point to thank the Sierra Leone Central Union because they have been working hard. The executive and the members under the leadership of government. We know that you are coming together in creative ways, and we are looking at that. We want to support you, we'll be with you, and we want you to engage in sustainable businesses. So we have given that lens to our engagement. Finally, I know you are waiting to hear the president, but finally, I just want to leave something with you. Something I think that will be a takeaway from this meeting. We are very clear that we have a national development model. The model is like you have a menu, you want to prepare cassava leaf, you know what you put in, and you have the expected results in mind. So when you do that, maybe it's the taste, greater acceptance, you will see that. So our development model, I want to describe that because we should have it in our heads and share it widely, is that if you want to transform Sierra Leone, you want to create wealth amongst our people, reduce poverty and suffering, equals to invest in human capital development. Plus, B plus, invest in efficient and effective management of the economy. Plus, invest in science, technology, and innovations. Plus, invest in good governance and international relations. Now, that's where we are. You people really matter also. International relations. You have a duty to represent us, to say good things, to market this country, and engage with all the opportunities that will benefit us here in Europe. So I just want to encourage you to know that you have a role to play. We are not the only ones doing the international relations job. You have a role to play. Now, as I said, if you have a model, a development model, a national development model for the country, you should be able to predict the future. You should be able to predict the future. The future this model predicts is that Paupa, Salo, Gobete. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ambassador. Those of you who are mathematicians would have heard of ADMAS, but I think Ambassador has the best example of ADMAS. Thank you very much, Ambassador. And we have taken a deliberate action as ambassadors, even though this is an SLPP government. Our belief is that the country is the same. It is on that basis that we believe that Sierra Leoneans are all important in our national development. That is why we continue to carry with us our diaspora community. You are why we are here, why the president pays our bill, because we are supposed to be working in your interest. And so, on that note, I want to invite a representative, or member of the Sierra Leone community here in France, Mr. Kawaja, to come forward, please. Turns out to be successful today, Kawaja has played no mean part in that. In other words, he's played a major role in that. So I therefore want to pass the mic over to you, for you to address His Excellency and his entourage, and also introduce your membership, and the rest, you know what to do.
His Excellency, Brigadier Retired Julius Maza-Bio, Excellency the First Lady, Madam Fatima Bio, Mr. Chief Minister, Minister of Tourism, Minister of Culture, heads of government, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. His Excellency, it is a great pleasure for me to convey a congratulation message on behalf of the people, on behalf of the community, the Sierra Leone community in France, during your election victory to become the president of our great nation, Sierra Leone. This moment today, it is an historic moment for us. Historic moment because it is the first time, I repeat, for us, Sierra Leonean community in France, to have our president in our midst. Mr. President, that will go a long way, especially to our children that are here today. I can't say it is a dream come true because we have never dreamt of that. We are very much appreciate for you to take off a time from your busy schedule to meet your people. That's greatness. Mr. President, the people, the community of France are very united. We have no political barrier, no religious barrier, no tribe. We are united and we work for each and every one of ourselves here. A civilized nation, Mr. President, all of us here today belong to different associations, but we work with one goal. We have the Sierra Leone Central Union, headed by Mr. Amadou Diallo. Stand up, please. The Sierra Leone Central Union is responsible to bring all associations together. Each and every association can do whatever it wants, but in the case of national issue, we do it together. We have the Solidarity Association, headed by Mr. Ibrahim Tarawali, commonly known as Papati. They are doing a very great job. They are not responsible on the social aspect, but they are responsible, especially in the case of death. They see that any Sierra Leonean that happen to die here should be given a befitting burial or taken home. That's the responsibility of the Solidarity Association. We have the Salon for Me and You French Association, headed by myself. Mr. President, our association is always working for the interest of Sierra Leoneans. Whenever Sierra Leoneans have a problem in France, they will contact us and we will work to the best of our ability. This association are in line with your program in the case of education. As I'm talking to you presently, our association is drawing plan to help a school in Gambia. We get this fund from the shows, the activities we make, the fund we gather is this fund we use. The Central Union, during those catastrophic years, they played a very great role by doing donation back home to children who lost their parents during this period. Those parents, may their soul rest in peace. We have the Sierra Leone Union, headed by Mr. Abdul Karim Kalako. Mr. President, as I mentioned to you earlier, every Sierra Leonean here aim is to how to help Sierra Leone. No matter what association that person from, his aims and objective is to see Sierra Leone be like France. We also have an organization, the Blue Birds of Melon, the beautiful Blue Birds of Melon, headed by Mr. Mohamed Mali. He is also doing very great. He has done well during the catastrophic year, and he is still doing more. He is doing a very great job. We have Mr. Alex Focus. He is responsible for the disabled back home. He's doing a very great job. Because some of us here today, we believe the disabled and the able are equal. We just need to support them. We need to support them. And that is the aim and objective of our dear brother. Mr. President, we have ladies here. Yes. We have the Sisters Unite. Sisters Unite, they are 100% in support of our First Lady in our adventure of Hands Off Our God. You have done a very great job, Madam First Lady, especially to some of us that have girl child. Especially to some of us that have girl child. We have been watching things, we have been listening, we have been hearing news of Sierra Leone, but your venture will never fall down. God will continue to bless you. Mr. President, as I mentioned earlier, even those who are not part of association, they are working earnestly to move Sierra Leone. We have in our midst here Mr. Franklin Davis. Mr. Franklin Davis is the organizer for Miss Sierra Leone. Never mind you see a very small population, but we ourselves, we want to put ourselves in the map. Whatever any nation can do, or other country can do, we France will also do that. As long as it's the best interest of Sierra Leone. Mr. President, we also have the Sierra Leone Women's Wing. The Sierra Leone Women's Wing, they are like our mother. They are our mother. As I said, they are our mother. Some of us, we have no barriers in their kitchens. We have no barriers in their kitchens. They take us as their sons and daughters, so we took them as our mothers and sisters. They are doing a very great job. We have the Sierra Leone Alliance Franco Education, headed by our dear daughter, Mrs. Memuna Kamapu. She's also doing a very great job, Mr. President. She gathered the younger ones, bring them together, say, look, let us don't leave everything in the elders' hand. We ourselves, we have to move, because we are the future of tomorrow. Mr. President, we have our designer here also. It's no other person but Mr. Izifa Salon Bobo. It is to show you that every Sierra Leonean in France, whatever we are doing, Sierra Leone is in our hearts. Sierra Leone is in our hearts, Mr. President. We also have a young lady, Mrs. Amina Tature. I don't know if she's here. They are working also in line with what Mrs. Kamapo is doing. Mr. President, we in France are very lucky. We are very lucky today because in our midst here today, we have the first Sierra Leonean that came to France. And that person is 95 blessed years old. It's no other person but Kamapo. I don't know if Pakamapu wants to say something to His Excellency.
Yes.
Good afternoon, Mr. President. I'm very glad to meet you today. I try all my best to come and meet you. From Java, near Mofomo. Vote for you. Before I left, the day we get the answer that they give you the result, we danced the whole night. After that, thank you, Mr. President. I'm glad to meet you.
Mr. President, my speech will not complete if I forget to mention our dynamic ambassador and his staff. You know, before, it was a taboo for an ordinary man or man like me to talk with an ambassador. But our ambassador here, Mr. Tambamusa and his deputy and the entire staff of the embassy have answered that question that it's no. They are here for the people. As it says in Latin, Pomius inter premium, the heads among the equal. He's not here, but we are together. Even if we have party, if we invite him, he will come. That's what we the people need. We need you, the officials, to come close to us, not to push away from us. We are your people. We are your subjects, Mr. President. Our ambassador, as we are here today, on behalf of the Sierra Leonean community, on the 21st of December, this nation, this community will award you and your staff for a very good job. As I said earlier, we are lucky. We have a Sierra Leonean here who, by doing his DNA test, he find out he's a Sierra Leonean. He is from the French island, Mr. President. It's no other person but Mr. Babatunde. He is from the French island. He went to do a DNA test to find out he is from Sierra Leone. He's already from Sierra Leone. He is a Timini by tribe, according to the DNA. We will not also forget to make this clear that the SLPP in France have today demonstrated to us what it means by one people, one country. During this preparation, Mr. President, they never interfere politically. They leave everything to the people. The chairman told me, Kawaja, look, this is not a political issue. It is a national issue. Do whatever you want for this program to be successful. I thank you, Mr. Chairman, and the rest of you, Mr. Chairman, as I don't have much to say, we, the people of France, welcome you. Long live Sierra Leone.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, I'll be remiss in my responsibility if I do not do something quick, and that is to explain the fact that something you already know, that behind any successful institution, there have got to be good people and good workers. So it is in that vein that I want to kindly request Mrs. Florence Bangali to kindly stand up. She has got a wealth of experience. Her temperament is very good, and she has helped actually run our mission in addition to the leadership of His Excellency the Ambassador. Thank you very much, Madam Bangali. I also want to publicly recognize the role of the other embassy officials here in front of you. Ladies and gentlemen, you know the true nature of a human being when they are powerful, because that is the time their character becomes a microscope. You can see. It is in that light that our nation has been blessed to have not only the counsel of the president, but the mother of the nation. It is in that light that I am honored to ask Her Excellency, Madam Fatima Bayo, to kindly say a word or two to your people.
Good afternoon. Hello. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Sierra Leone, my dear husband, our honorable ministers here present, our noble members of parliament, please allow me stand on existing protocols. Ladies and gentlemen, I am so honored to be here today to see so many beautiful and handsome faces from Sierra Leone into France. I want to say that I have been coming to France for a while. I never knew we had so many Sierra Leoneans here. I just thought speaking French would be so difficult that nobody wants to come to France. But today I'm happy that you've taken time to come and celebrate with His Excellency, to meet with your president, our president, the man that God has chosen for our generation to help direct our nation. The job in Sierra Leone is not an easy one. It is a very difficult task. If you inherited what His Excellency inherited, Believe you me, I still wonder why he still have black hair. And he's not dyeing it. So that means he is a strong will and is gifted. But in a very serious note, we are in a crossroad now. His Excellency is the leader and our president, and he's steering the boat that we're all in. And as a Sierra Leonean, as it is right now, our job is to support his cause. Because I can assure you, knowing what I know, what I live through and what I see every day, Mother Bio live and breathe nothing but Sierra Leone. And for that, I always want to commend him, even though I'm sometimes very jealous that, you know, the woman ain't gonna understand. No woman wants to have anything ahead of them. But then if what is ahead of you, or the one thing that you're competing with is your nation, you just say, well, I'm blessed because I know I need this nation to survive. So if the nation grows and the nation is successful, that means that I'm going to live in a very good place. So I'm not too jealous. I want also to bring to your attention, because I was in London yesterday and, you know, there's a lot of talk going around and say, oh, Mother Bio de Waka Waka, Mother Bio de travel. First, I want to clear, before Mother Bio become president, Mother Bio has been traveling. So, not a president, not a way be president to see plane. They don't travel. They traveled, and he traveled, he learned, he went to countries, he learned, empower himself, get himself ready for the task ahead. And that is the reason why don't judge your president because he traveled. Judge your president because of what is happening in your country. And I won't talk about my own traveling. There is no need to talk about it. Because the people who say, well, Fatima traveled, these are the people who used to sit and watch me on TV. So how do you think you were watching me on TV? It's because I was traveling, doing my job as an actress. So these are things that people, we use social media for the wrong things these days. You know, people go to Sierra Leone and they will take a picture of the worst horrible sight, put them up and say this is Sierra Leone. But what they fail to do is the cleaning Saturday we have has made our country one of the cleanest countries in West Africa today. Yes. But no, that's not a subject for people to talk about. They don't want to talk about those issues. They only want to talk about Mother Bio travel. You know, like before we left, I just remember when we took over, everywhere we go. Before now, when you call yourself a Sierra Leonean, you have to actually defend being a Sierra Leonean. You have to explain why you choose to be a Sierra Leonean. You say, I'm a Sierra Leonean, like, you sure? But is that a crime being a Sierra Leonean? And today, we are so proud that when you walk in the street or walk around the world and say, I'm from Sierra Leone, nobody asks you why. Because this man, through his traveling, he has transformed our image, transformed us. There is one thing I wanted to bring to people's attention, because for me, that was the worst embarrassment I had to face. I know His Excellency, these are not things that he would like for people to talk about, but I will say it. We went to Japan. You know, I'm not a politician, right? So I normally I say everything, and then after I go and sit and think, was I supposed to say that? But this I want to. We went to Japan. And believe you me, they will not allow us enter our room unless we pay our bills. Because Sierra Leone have bill there before we came. You can imagine that. That's an embarrassment. For any any government who goes around the world taking credit on your country and leaving, you cannot go into a hotel and not pay your bill. When you leave, it's not just your name that you left there. You've left the image of your country there.
Talk true.
So His Excellency is transforming the image of our country. His Excellency is bringing back the glory that we have lost. His Excellency has given us women the opportunity to smile again. When we talk about free education, the free education is not for anybody, for as far as I'm concerned, it's for us women. Because if you have 4 or 5 kids and you don't have to pay school fees for all of them, as a woman, you should be saying, thank you, oh Lord, because I've got an amazing grace. For us women, this is the first time we have a president who have declared state of emergency on rape. I can tell you, before now, we even have ministers in office who rape kids. And then the case go to court, what happened? Nothing. Called buff case. But then we have our president under his leadership. He said no man will rape a woman, and if you go to court and you're found wanting, you're going to jail for life. So us women, we should be proud to say we've got somebody who is fighting our rights. And it's not only the child's right and the women's right that parliaments, we have 2 parliamentarians here who, they have passed that law that every woman and a child in Sierra Leone now have a right. You cannot just look at me and batter me and expect to go free. Because we now have a president who understands what women want and what should be done for us women. And the fact also is this, Malabio, any way we go with him with. My dear, where have they married to me, man? We say for better and for worse. And because it is for better and for worse, when I follow my husband, I learn from him, I understand what he wants for his country. The whole world today talk about hands off our girls. At the back I smile, I'm saying, yay, hands off our girls. But what the world don't know, hands off our girls is Mother Bio's project. Yes. It is his vision. I'm just there, I'm just the face. I am the one who is going there because I'm a woman. And that's what a true man has to do. As the president, he empowers his wife, so we walk side by side. Not him at the front, me sitting at the back. But then, also, what people need to understand here is, God forbid, which I know will never happen, if Mother Bio fails, before anybody feel that pain, it is me and my children who will feel it more. Because tomorrow when we walk on the street and people say, these are Mother Bio's family, and they start throwing stone on us, it is because of the seed that he planted for Sierra Leone. That seed has to be good. And if I have to follow my husband and support him, every man wants to be, every man, when I all talk to them, when I tell me, which man they are away one stress. So if you have somebody who will take out that stress from you and make you focus and do the right thing for your people, would you not want that person next to you? Would you not even make that person your secretary? You know, I'm trying to ask Mother to give me a job. So I can be his secretary. But to be honest with you, Mother is changing our country, and that country where it is right now, it needs me and you to help him. We need to put this political nightmare away first. We need to leave our colors. We have followed color for so long, and where has that gotten us? We don't have light. You don't have water. You don't have good road. You don't have food. You don't have anything to show for the last 10 years. And you still want me to follow color? If your color did not work for you, why do you think you should not use your color against me? As Sierra Leoneans, please, if you have what it takes to come back home or wherever you are to contribute to the development of that nation, this is the time. The 4th revolution is around the corner. Yes. If we miss it, we are doomed and will be doomed for life. We do not have the opportunity to have Mother Bio coming again and again. God not a bless one great person in Pasimako. Other people themselves can forget chance. He has been a president before, and God have a reason why he brought him back. And as it is, he's here to make sure what he could not accomplish in a good way, in a positive way, when he was a military man, he's going to accomplish that as a civilian and alongside his own people. So please, what you read on social media is never the truth. Do you even know that our Minister of Tourism just won an award in London for being the best Minister of Tourism in Africa? No. Social media, the people who are busy on social media, they don't talk about these things. They don't talk about all the ambulances that the Minister of Health have fixed, ambulances that they were using to take charcoal and take to their houses, ambulances that they were using to go to their farms. And people are dying in hospitals. And now the new direction has come, and those ambulances have been fixed. They are now in every district have an ambulance. When you leave this part of the world, you understand what it means to call for an emergency and then you have somebody to come to your house and help you. But they don't talk about these things. They will tell you, oh, Fatima, your makeup not right. They will tell you that one day, you see, you don't take Paris Beleo. I can tell them, not to Beleo, there's no facts are facts. Understand that vaccine. You know? So please, what you read on social media, because sometimes also you only see the one side of the social media, the group where you find yourself, just that one group. It's not everything that you read there is the truth. We are moving forward under the leadership of His Excellency. He is doing his level best to change the image of our country. He is the first president, as far as I know, who has actually empowered so many women. And not just that empowerment because they're girlfriend, no. He gives women position because he knows they're capable of doing it. Oh, yes. And that's the difference. He does not give position. And when safety pass, you know, but the position he gives them to the right women to deliver. And then he empowers us. He has the youngest government Sierra Leone have seen ever. You check the ages of our ministers, then you understand that we are actually the new millennium. And we need to change. But come along. Let us leave politics. By 2023, wear your red, I will wear my green. From now against then, please, let us come and work for our country and make our country a better place under the leadership of His Excellency. And the women who support Hands Off Our Girl, I want to say thank you. Hands Off Our Girl is the nemesis that we need to solve in Sierra Leone. The rape, early marriage, teenage pregnancies, these are things that even if His Excellency give all the free education in the world, if we don't tackle these things, the free education will be wasted free education. So we have to make sure no girl is forced into any form of marriage in that country until they're ready. We have to make sure when a man rapes somebody else's child, that person have to go to jail. And they have to face the consequences. And we have to make sure our judiciaries, they do the right thing for the people, not for the officers. We have to make sure of those things. We have to make sure that teenagers will look at education and value education rather than go and be impregnated. We have to, and all that is the mentality. Education, if you do not have the right education for your country for this millennium coming, we are doomed and we will go nowhere. And me, I don't tire for be follow. As we are leading, please, let us lead. Our president is basically the most admired head of state in Africa today. The most respected president in Africa today. When Mother Bio speak, they listen. When Mother Bio make suggestions, they listen. When people want to take advice, they call him. Not because he's been in the job for long, but because of the transformation that he has introduced in Africa. And I believe that's the reason why they believe in him and they believe in his leadership. So together, let us give him the chance and the opportunity to serve us and do what he was called to do for the second time. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, First Lady. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know how to say this in French, but I think I only know about Madabio. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, His Excellency came here on this trip with a galaxy of national leaders, both local and national. It is therefore my pleasure to recognize the Chief Minister, Professor David Francis, Honorable Foreign Minister, Mrs. Nabila Tunis, Honorable Minister of Tourism, Mr. Pratt, the Minister of Education designate, Dr. David Senge, the Presidential Advisor on Communication, Dr. P.K. Warner, Paramount Chief Boboli, Honorable Dixon Rogers, Honorable Member of Parliament Emily Atungi, the Presidential Press Secretary Mr. Yusuf Kakatoma.
It needs to be of sound mind and body, and that human being is ready to face the world and to succeed in the world. That is what human capital is all about. We don't have to be spoon-fed, but if you give the opportunity to every Sierra Leonean to be well educated with appropriate education of sound mind and body, that is good health, of health security, and they also are happy because they can access food cheaply, that person is ready to fend for themselves. And that is what we pledged to do. But we also realized that it was extremely difficult for people to actually go to school. A lot of people were dropping out of school because they could not afford, I don't know how much that is in euros, but $20, $25 a year. I think that is an indictment on all of us because we can do better. A lot of brains were dropping out of school. So what did we do? 5 months after taking over and meeting our economy on the brink of collapse, we were able to start our fight against corruption by clamping down on corrupt practices, closing off the loopholes, and we are able to put money together to pay for, now we are paying for over 2 million kids from pre-primary to the end of high school. The free quality education we launched was not supported by any funds from outside of Sierra Leone, and we did not make any funds for it, but in 5 months we are able to discipline ourselves, to put money together for the future of Sierra Leone. That is how the free quality education started. A lot of people would think that this is an easy project. It is not. When you have to pay for over 2 million kids, you have to provide core textbook for all those kids and learning and teaching materials. That is no mean task to undertake in a year when the economy itself is not strong. The audacity we had is founded on a simple premise that without proper education, we can never succeed. Without quality education, we can never be a useful part of the 21st century. Africa as a whole has been suffering at the receiving end of the first, second, and third industrial revolutions because we were not prepared. What we are doing now, when the effect of or the result of what we are doing now cannot be seen easily and cannot be appreciated in the next few years. But we have the audacity and are bold enough to embark on this, which is to prepare Sierra Leone for the fourth industrial revolution. You and I know that the type of education needed for the future is totally different from what we are doing now. Some of us, in fact, the skills we have now are obsolete. We cannot. So, we don't want to lose. We don't want to be at the receiving end of the fourth industrial revolution. We have to prepare our own kids to be ready and to lead that. That is how Africa and Sierra Leone can gain. Artificial intelligence, we don't know about that, we didn't learn about that, but that is the future. Big data algorithm, mining data to make decisions. That is the way forward. We cannot do that. So if we do not prepare our kids to be a meaningful part of that, then we have not started well. So what we are doing is an extremely difficult project for our country. And until and unless we can convince all of you to know that we are not spending money frivolously. I don't like to travel, but I asked for this job, and this job required that I travel. I came here from Niger. All the heads of state from West Africa were there. Before then, in Russia, all the heads of state from Africa were in Russia. Before then, TICAD in Japan, all the heads of state from Africa were there. Before then, the UN, all the heads of state of the world were there. So why am I traveling? It is part of my job. What we are suffering from is the poverty mentality. So when you have a car, people say, oh, you want bluff, you want shoot again. Your car are just for taking from A to B. That is all. You think I want to be in the air all the time? No. But nobody asked me to come here. I put my hand up because I think I've had a stint in office as a young person, as a military officer, and I think I learned quite a lot. And because I have the benefit of hindsight, I wanted to share that. I went to office with a clear plan on hand. I didn't go there and start groping in the dark. I had a clear plan, and that is why we are making progress. Sierra Leone was all known for the bad reasons. It is not Ebola, it is for corruption, or flooding, or wars. That narrative is beginning to change. I can attest to that. We are viewed differently around the world. We are cited by important people around the world. For instance, last year, Melinda Gates cited Sierra Leone. If you are serious about education, do what Sierra Leone is doing. So that ugly narrative about Sierra Leone is beginning to change. I cannot do that alone. It should be our responsibility as a nation. And that is why I want you to understand where we are going and to know that I can't do it alone. I must have your buy-in into this project. And it should be easy because it is for the benefit of us all. So, aside from that, the economy itself, what have we done? I told you it was on the brink of collapse. But because of the many reforms, and in fact, the World Bank and the IMF had left Sierra Leone by the time we took over because of mismanagement. Today, they are back. They are very happy with us. And they've given us a clean bill of health for any other institution, financial institution around the world to deal with us. That in itself is an achievement. Yes. The macroeconomic fundamentals are very strong because of the type of leadership I'm providing. Expenditure control is tight. That is how we've been able to run the country without resorting to debt. We are paying salaries on time. Remember, this is against the backdrop of a government that took over from almost a bankrupt country. They had, of course, already declared austerity many months before they left. So, quite a lot has been achieved and quite a lot is being done. Reforms within the economic sector. We are cleaning up the mining sector, the extractive industry. Again, we know that health is very important. So we are working in that area too. Now, for the most cases, we have health situations. We have to take them out, send them to Ghana for simple, preventable cases, diseases. And we are losing quite a lot of our people to preventable and curable diseases. That is unacceptable at this time in the history of the world. So it is our responsibility. A lot had gone wrong. And normally when I talk to people in Sierra Leone who want things now, I say to them, I admire your courage for having been patient while things were going down. I ask for more patience now that we are bringing them up again. All I can promise this nation is a better outcome. A better outcome. It is definitely going to be different by the time I leave from the time I took over. I want to inspire as many Sierra Leoneans as possible. I always tell them the challenge is there, it's not easy, but we can do it. And we soon have a national dialogue around the type of education that we need in Sierra Leone now. And we are going to include everybody, and we'll invite we will invite you also to make contribution. Some of our kids here, we have to be competing with robots for jobs. Because robots are better at some jobs than us human beings. And that is what is going to happen. Today, we are competing with one another. You put your CV, I put my CV. The robot, when they don't program them, for go take one plate and can't serve, it will go by himself. You know they misbehave, you know they talk. You know they late, you know they long about, you know they work this way. They don't program them. You know they go take the plate and can't serve. So jobs like that, you go, you apply, you get the seat, don't serve from Hilton to all the hotels, Marriott. They say, no, the robot can do that better. So we want to prepare our kids so that they are better at programming everything that relates to digitization, everything that relates to artificial intelligence. Let them be behind the machines and not just users. Our kids are native technologies. They know our telephones and also our machines better than all of us because they are growing with it. They don't read the manuals. They are natural with it. So, if we don't prepare them, we just give them this same old knowledge that we have. Hot mental, 2 times 2 is 4, 8 times 6. That is not the way to go. Critical thinking, problem solving, new situations, all the time. How do they deal with that? So, it is a lot of things that we have to do together. And to say that I or just a few of us can do it, no. The nations that have developed, and I normally would cite, especially in Africa, not just developed, but miraculously turn things around, like Rwanda. I was there recently, and that I saw collective discipline, collective ownership, and collective determination to change. When you go through the sort of experience that we have gone through together as a nation, the war, the Ebola, and the many economic and political challenges, you make up your mind at a point in time and say, never again. Which means we have to work together. And that takes me to the issue of political parties and so on and so forth. I'm happy that in France, Sierra Leoneans live together. They have their different parties. I'm SLPP. I would like everybody to be SLPP, but I also appreciate that not everybody can be SLPP. But I will definitely want to assure those who are not SLPP that if you want Sierra Leone to succeed, SLPP is the best. And the next time I come here, I will not have meeting with SLPP. I will engage the ABC, NGC. Oh, you have NGC here? Which other one? C for C. I will engage everybody and tell you we are making progress, and we cannot continue to make progress if we do not have a consensus as a nation, irrespective of our political parties. That is the truth. Let's quarrel. I always tell them, even when you quarrel, don't hit anybody. Violence should not be part of it. I know that however way I speak, however hands-on I may look, I cannot convince everybody to be with me. But we can also live together, even when we are different. So, I'm very happy to be in France today, and to be able, for the first time since I've been coming to France, to see this number of Sierra Leoneans gathered in one place. Normally, this is where I used to come for my holidays, because a lot of people don't know me, and I can walk on the street, get my baggage, and I can even break it on the street, because only once did anybody recognize me in the subway. Only once. I always felt open. There are no Sierra Leoneans there, so I can, move on the street freely. But now I think I'm scared. So I can go on and on and on and on, but I want to assure you that we are building a new Sierra Leone. It should not be me alone or us, the few in government. It should be us, Sierra Leone, irrespective of region, party, and whatever differences that we have. If we want to have a place we can go home to return to as and when we want, and to be proud of the services. When you live here for a very long time, normally you start to wonder whether you can actually live again in your home. We are working to make things better there. It took them a long time to come this far. Better late than never. We are starting now, we have started. So I invite all of you to be a part of this change. You can be so, you can do so in different ways. Different ways. And that is why I would love to have more discussion, but time is not on our part. But I want to invite all of you, as Surinamese, that we do something for the land that we love. Thank you.
Thank you, Excellency. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to quickly recognize the... Okay, let me say that I recognize the very good work that Mr. Tomi Masakwe does as one of the presidential aides. I also want to recognize Mrs. Phyllis Kapu. Mrs. Phyllis Kapu, the office of the First Lady. And Mr. Morgan, who is the Director of Communications in the First Lady's office. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Now, briefly, may I invite Ms. Kamaku to give the vote of thanks. I want the Director of Communication to pick a one to take a lead on that. To pick one, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Deputy Ambassador. What we're going to do is, we have the names of those people who would like to ask questions. What we'll do is we'll call your name out, and our expectation is you'll rise, and then be gracious enough to stay within the remit of what you asked on paper, and ask His Excellency or the First Lady, and they'll be kind enough to respond. So let's have for the first question, let's have Mrs. Yaba Lina Mahoy. Is she here? Mahoy? No, okay. Let's move on to the next person. Ibrahim Suri Sharif. Mr. Ibrahim Suri Sharif. Yes, your question, please.
Good day, everyone. I want to say big thanks to the President and the entourage, and above all, the Mamina Power. I want to say thank you to you. Mr. President, before you assume office, you will promise, say you will try to stabilize the peace, because one thing we will lead now the country now peace for not get a memorandum of understanding between the political arena. But up to now, we see a lot of tension, and most of those tension they extend at the social media. And one way when we see you able to achieve your dream is that now we will get good information out of Sierra Leone with the Canada diaspora. So I don't know how best you don't they try to put that things in place so that this tension of the political issue in Salon will come to an end, so that we see ourselves as one people and one country.
Thank you very much, Mr. Associate. Your Excellency would like to respond.
Thank you very much. Violence don't be part of the politics for a very long time. And that is because, I think, of the last point where I make, we not tend for this, the other person forget the freedom for choose what you want to do. You know what I mean? Saying that we enemy where me when I SLPP, somebody else belong to another party. And that question assures me they go more for the SLPP and the APC supporters. Because we get to understand, say, in democracy, people they get views. And those views can be different, and they belong to different parties. That don't mean, say, that person will belong to another party hates you. Not at all. So when I'm able to team up and talk, say, me party are the best. In fact, I convince more people for vote for the party. You don't need for say anything where you stay in the other person's mind, or you don't have to do anything that we hurt the other person, physically or otherwise. I did promise, it's a long and difficult job to get people to actually buy into this. Again, because of unemployment, a lot of people really don't have jobs, and some bad politicians engage them. They engage them to fight off their adversaries. Those are bad politicians. I have always challenged people. Because of my military background, they thought I was going to bring violence. I said no. The military profession does not teach us to be violent. It teaches us to be disciplined and to put the nation first. Patriotism. So I think, again, this is a duty for all of us. Don't fight or don't hurt another person because he or she belongs to another party. No, we have a right to do what you want. We have a right to belong to different parties. Don't try to hurt another person because he or she belongs to another party. And that is just what I will say. I believe in it, I do it, and I engage. Like I said to you, I didn't tell you I don't want to see APC na me meeting, or I don't want to see NGC. No. In fact, these are the people I really want to talk to. These are the people I really want to sit down with. These are the people, people make these decisions based on the information they have, the experiences they have. I want them to have an experience with me. I can tell you, I only say what I know I can do. What I said I was going to do before the elections, these are the things I'm doing. So I am a politician of repute. In Freetown, we say talk and do. So I believe in the programs I have. I generated these programs because I think they're in the best interest of changing the lives of people. I may be wrong at the end of the day, but I'm taking the best shot at it. So I would prefer to talk about those issues than forget unnecessary argument. Oh, if you make so, I will tap you. No, not to the time. Do you need to? No, we don't need to cause the drop of a single drop of blood for elections. So that is a task for us all, and I will appeal to us here too, to always talk to our people back home. Election time is not for violence. Election day should be like in any other normal day. As you normally vote here, you only know your polling vote, you go there, you drop your vote, and you know it's going to be counted and accounted for. So that is a job, that is a work that is ongoing. People have been used to fighting, people have been used to all the other things, and it's not going to go away very easily. So that is all I would say about that.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. In addition to what Your Excellency has said, the Honourable Member of Parliament, Mr. Dixon Rogers, would also like to add a few things about the parliamentary angle. Is that correct?
Thank you very much. In addition to waiting, Your Excellency say, if we don't even go ahead for forming a committee, of which 2 members of Parliament in that committee, the leader of government business, Honorable Sidi Trinis, Honorable Frederick Kakadisi, the Minister of Political Affairs, the Vice President, the Chairman, then APC, SLPP, NGC. So they meet every month for look at the political trend in the country. Whatever the thing say, the SLP government, they do way, go to the other party, they come out and get a decision and see how they will. That is how the government is moving. In Parliament also, before now, the LPC will occupy the SLP, but we always make sure that every bill the government sends in Parliament, every appointment government sends in Parliament, not go through, because we engage both all the political parties within the Parliament. If we don't make a law, that every decision they take as governing party, the other political parties they will come together and they will take a decision. If they say no, we will find a way for pursuing them and they will agree. Because like the president said, now only way we get a peaceful country, all the agendas they go through. Thank you very much.
And I think the Chief Minister would like to say something about B293 briefly. Oh, okay. Yes, I think His Excellency would like to say something about B293.
Not directly to political, the rivalry, the violence between or among political parties, but it relates to general peace and national cohesion in Sierra Leone. Because we know the bad politicians always exploit differences among we. Say you na this tribe, the other one na this tribe, this region, the other one na that region, you get this, the other one not get. We also don't start the process of putting together a permanent independent commission where would they for look inside the country, identify anything which will trigger violence and for deal with them or nip them in the board. So the Peace and National Cohesion Commission will be done already get a dialogue, and very soon we will work on the mechanics now for set up. This is going to be, it's not strictly government we will work for make sure say it exists, but what they will do now for just scan society wherever anything they will trigger violence, whether not fundamental grievances.
Very much, Your Excellency. Because we're running out of time for being in this hall, I'm going to read out a question or two more and then we're done with the event. Mr. Baba Kamara has asked a question and I'm going to read that out. Mr. Baba Kamara says, His Excellency, we heard that your government is signing documents with first world countries to deport our brothers and sisters back home. How true is this?
Not true. I can't resist the temptation for art. You know, it's a simple question. How true is it? Not true at all. In the widest of my imaginations, I know whatever things say, my first business is to protect and secure the interests of Sierra Leone, whichever color, creed, or tribe or region you come from. If then can you go now and put you down and I'm not going to refuse you because again you belong to Sierra Leone. But why would I go and sign?
I'd like to know what your government has done about that law, A. B, she would like to know what the future is for children who are born in the diaspora of dual citizenship, whether mixed race or not, whether they will have the same right and the same future in Sierra Leone, just like their counterparts in Sierra Leone who are born and bred back home.
Of course, that is futuristic, but I think in my opinion, as far as I'm concerned, we all use the opportunity that we get for find greener pasture. Most people prefer to be home. They are only here because we have not governed ourselves better. We have to manage our resources, but even when they are here, everybody they find that opportunity to go back home. That is where you belong, and that is where you can make better contribution. So, I mean, officer, anybody can be penalized because you go fail now. No, I think that's completely wrong. So the Amendment Act definitely want to make a part of the constitutional review. Way down the back, we don't dig her up, and with the drive for Russia now, we think the Sierra Leone in the diaspora are contributing, can contribute, and should be made to contribute, and therefore should be part of that society. We no go afford for making a look like say, wrong decision for come out here. Some people, in fact, they come for kind of richer experience. Some people have education. Some people are just the lack of opportunities back there. And then they can. So we are working on that. I will promise you.
In light of the above, the BPM Foundation will donate a mobile medical aid to our distinguished First Lady, of the Republic of Sierra Leone. As a small gesture to support her in her quest to promote better medical facility in our beloved country, Sierra Leone. Once more, and thank you, Mr. President, Madam the First Lady of the Republic of Sierra Leone.
Thank you very much, Mr. Leone. I didn't realize you had a speech. So you follow up with it. Now we have a fashion designer, Salom Bobo. And you're not going to bring a speech out.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. My president, our president, the first lady. I am Alpha Bambura, Sierra Leonean, and very proud Sierra Leonean. And today we have the honor to receive you, our president. And we are trying our own best ways to present Sierra Leone in a positive way. Of course, we've not tried for something negative. Like, this is my brand, Sierra Leone Bobo. The reason why it's called Sierra Leone Bobo is to tell other people that we are Sierra Leoneans and we are proud of being Sierra Leonean to show our identity. For that reason, I'm here with my brand today to present to you my president and the first lady. I knew you as my Sierra Leone Bobo number 1 and my son. President Salom. And thank you. All the best.
All right, Mr. Davidson. Franklin Davidson, please. Mr. Franklin Davidson wants to make a generous contribution to the First Lady's signature program, Hands of Our Girls. No speeches, please.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Franklin Davis, DJ Frank, the organizer of Miss Sierra Leone France. And I've been trying in my own way to promote Sierra Leonean talent in France. I've done the Miss Sierra Leone France last year, and just on Saturday I did a cultural festival which I called Sierra Leonean Food and Cultural Festival, which I organized. It's a non-profitable event that I made free for every Sierra Leonean. I invited every Sierra Leonean to show up their talents and products for sale. And somebody that is completely against rape, I've been against this for a very long time, and I appreciate what you're doing for Hands Off Your Girls. I would like to make this little contribution. It's a very small one.
If you have any more donations, you can talk to the embassy staff. This ends it. The votes of thanks, please. These kind of votes of thanks. Yes, please. You can speak to the embassy staff after, please. Thank you. Yes, sir. Yeah, you talk to the embassy staff after, please, sir. Thank you, sir.
Your Excellency, Mr. President, Your Excellency, the First Lady, Ministers, Ambassadors, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. With great humility, on behalf of the organizers and all the Sierra Leoneans diaspora in France, I would like to convey our utmost gratitude for finding time in your busy schedule to meet us on this historic visit. A special thanks to the embassy, the organizing committee, the catering and entertainment committee. Finally, thank you to the Sierra Leone diaspora for coming in numbers to help make this day a success. Please consider opening an embassy in France. As you can see, we have many events in France. And this is just a short numbers of we are many in Sierra Leone. So please consider opening an embassy in Sierra Leone. In France. Also, what I would like to add is it will help us promote Sierra Leone to the French population, to the French people, and it will also attract more tourists. Furthermore, it will also facilitate our visas application process and the extra costs that we in France have to take for traveling to Belgium. I didn't have an occasion to ask my question, but I submitted my question, so please allow me to ask my question. How can the government help associations created by Sierra Leoneans in terms of permits, tax on materials imported in collaboration with government institutions, and who is the government liaison for the diaspora. And sorry, I forgot the honorable members of parliament. I'm so sorry. I would like to say a special thank you to my auntie, Auntie Emilia, who is here today. And I'm proud to be a Sierra Leonean because of her and because of my father, who is the oldest Sierra Leonean in France. So thank you for the honor.
I don't know if His Excellency wants to say anything. Okay, so that ends the program. Can you